Okay, you guys, thank you all so much for joining our training call number 6 for Dash to Director. I know that summers are busy, just as Amy and I were just talking about how you lose track of time and kids and craziness going on, and the weather's been so beautiful, so everybody's outside. So I so appreciate you jumping on, and I am so excited to welcome Amy Ward to our call tonight. So Amy is one of, I think, almost any training that we ever do with our team, and Amy doesn't even know this, we refer to Amy and we say, when we talk about how if you feel like your business isn't moving or you feel like you're not unsure of what to do, put a party on that. And we always reference that that came from Amy. And there are so many people in this business that truly look up to you in so many ways, Amy. So this is such an honor to have you join our call. And anything you share tonight, I know is going to be fabulous. So I'm just going to get right to it and turn the call over to you. And then at the end, if we have any questions, we can open it up. So thank you again so much, Amy.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited that you asked me. That training though, like that's a lot to live up to. Is the whole put a party on it. Sometimes I feel like we need hats that just say put a party on it. So I know you guys have heard the training, but where I got where that came to me from in like random mumblings up on stage at Summit. When was that? Was that 2019? I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 2019. It's like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where they, if you've seen that, it's the dad, and I think it's the dad, maybe it's the mom, I don't know, that part doesn't matter, but where anything that's wrong, like if they have a pimple or a broken arm or whatever it is, put Windex on it. So instead of putting Windex on it, in Zaya, I guess, or you could say like putting a party on it is the equivalent of the Windex thing in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. So real quick, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. Because there's so many people that I don't even know because of COVID and missing out on events and all of those things. So I'm a Zaya elite. I joined Zaya 4 years ago, Memorial Day weekend. My husband was like, that is not a good idea. You definitely should not do that. And I did it anyway, because I did it anyway. And I mean, he knew that about me because he married me. He knew that I was going to do it anyway. But anyway, he was like, that's not a good idea. I had a little bit of direct sales experience before as a Beachbody coach. I was a failed Beachbody coach. I was really only a Beachbody coach because I wanted to be a master trainer. And I had become a master trainer right before I said yes to Zaya. So he was like, it's going to be like that again. Shouldn't you just make your own clothes? Shouldn't you? Which is like, it's so funny now. Like, it's so laughable now, for all the benefits that we get, like as being reps for Zaya versus having your own online boutique or your own line of clothing and all of that. So we laugh about that. It was crazy. I actually, a lot of people don't know this, but because I was master trainer for Beachbody, I certified or I trained other fitness instructors to teach group fitness formats. And Beachbody master trainers and Beachbody that does direct sales were two different divisions, but they were kind of like under the same umbrella, and they had it out for me when I joined Zaya. So I actually built my business in secret to senior director, and a lot of people don't know that. And I did that through parties. So Zaya's just been like this crazy, amazing thing that has completely blessed my family and changed my entire life. I look like a crazy hot mess right now because I just came in from the barn that we built on our land, and just like crazy. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity. I'm super thankful that like I went for it, even when my husband was like, nah, you shouldn't do that. And even when I was scared that I was going to lose my position as a master trainer. Because the coolest thing about this business is when you build that momentum, You earn you earn money in your sleep. Like how crazy is that, right? So I want to talk to you today because since you've referenced the put a party on it and all of that jazz, I want to talk to you about taking action in your business, but a little bit of a different spin on that. So I don't know if you've heard the term massive action. Have you heard like people say like, yeah, when times are tough, take massive action, or massive action is what will turn things around for you? Well, here's what I want to say about that. You can take massive action in the form of like, I don't know, dedicating an entire 8-hour day to building a new rep guide or a graphics package or all of the things. And I think a lot of times we're like, okay, I'm just gonna take today and I'm gonna spend all my time doing these things, like doing these big things that I've been wanting to do, because if I could just get organized. I'm more about embracing the chaos. So instead of massive action, I want to talk to you about just like simple action, consistent action, because that is what super successful businesses are built on. It's not about doing all of these things and creating the leadership, like doing the things and the stuff that we all do. When we're like, if I just had the right graphics, or I would just have the right thing. And I'm sorry, I'm stuck on the graphics thing. I hear that with parties and stuff a lot. Or, you know, like the posts, or if I could just batch schedule, or maybe if I could just figure out SyncShare, or all of these things. And we get so hung up on, if I could just do that, and I spend my time doing that, but then we forget that those projects also require action too. And maybe that action ends up a little bit misguided or misdirected. So at the end of the day, you can do all of those things. But we're in sales. Like it or not, we're in sales, okay? And you better like it, because it's pretty cool. Because another way to think about sales is making connections. That's your job at the end of the day, is making connections through posting on social media, and not just throwing posts on social media, but like connecting with people on social media, connecting with your warm market. Like your friends, your family, your sister-in-law, like actually having human interaction and connection, which I think is the coolest thing, like to get all touchy-feely for a second about Zaya, is that, you know, communities are pillar, and we build community through connection, and we can find connection in community. So I think that that's really cool. And that's what needs to be the action that you take. So every time that someone has a question in a party about something, that's your opportunity to make a connection with that person. So when we make those connections with people, and this isn't just to talk on sales, but when we make those connections with people, we can find a need, and we can then see what we can do to meet that need. And then we can make that connection even stronger. And the connections that we build on social media, when you're casting your net out there, or with your warm market or your cold market that you're trying to warm up, maybe within a party, that builds. So if we can take those random connections, we can make that connection a little bit stronger. Those people become customers, those customers that we continue to connect with, by interacting with through reach outs, through posts, through responses. Hopefully they'll become hostesses for us, and then hostesses then become reps, because every time that we make those connections and we do it in the form of a party, you're basically giving people a like business presentation. How cool is that? And I'm not going to talk to you about like how to get your hostesses to sign up and all of that stuff. But if you think about it, like at the end of the day, your check is going to reflect the connections that you make, and those connections lead to sales. And to me, like, if you look at it from that perspective, that those two things, and even recruiting, like recruiting is just sales on steroids. It's just another level. So if we can get really good at the connections and focusing on the connections and taking consistent action in your business, that's how you build a team. That's how you work sustainably, not burning yourself out, so that you can run around like a crazy chicken with your head cut off in all other areas of your life. And I know that a lot of times we also think like, I don't know, you guys tell me right now, if you like, do you work a full-time job? Is that, because I'm seeing stuff pop up, like, do you work a full-time job on top of Zaya? Are you working your business like in small portions of the day? Like, how much time do you dedicate on average to Zaya? Part-time. Okay, cool. Yeah. So when I joined, it was the worst time possible for me to join Zaya, because I was doing all of the things and stuff. I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old that I was dragging around everywhere with me to gyms. I was teaching 18 fitness classes a week. But I managed to work this business in the nooks and crannies of my day. And I know that people say that, but I really did. I would leave my kids a little bit longer in childcare at the gym, and I would go through, and I had to get really, really efficient. So I would work my business in 10 to 15 minute chunks a day. It was chaos. But my business was really, really focused. And I know that a lot of times we think like, if I just had more time, but that's not what it's about. It's about being really intentional and really focused with the time that you do have. So think about it. Think about what you do with your business, like when you do, because most people are saying we're part-time here working Zaya. And as you grow and scale your business, always remember too that the goal isn't to just be like Zaya all day. I mean, it is a huge part of my life. It's woven into my day, but it's like this opportunity allows you time to enjoy other things, to have the time freedom to schedule your life and to work on your terms and when you want to. But I want you to think about when you log into Facebook, or what are you doing first? Are you scrolling? Are you making a batch post? Are you making connections? Are you following up? Are you doing those things? And I don't know about you, but I am someone who gets overwhelmed if I think about all of the things and stuff that I have to do. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I need to do 10 of these and I don't have time. So why at all? But I love to segment my day into 10 to 15 minutes. And I have squirrel brains. So that's about all I can focus for sometimes anyway, and actually be effective. So that's okay. That's what I do. And that's what works for me. But when we've talked about putting a party on it, if you are right now, if you are struggling to hit a rank, or to book parties, or to get your downline reps to book parties, focus on the connections. Go back to the connections. Go back to simply inviting. And this is something that I talked about in my team page yesterday. So I want to share this with you guys too, and I hope this is okay. But I was talking about how I realized that I got left out of like a meetup